Hey everyone, Kaylee here with this Rapunzel inspired braid. I love this. It uses no extensions, but I think it still captures Rapunzel's braid very well. It also looks really good with non-costume looks, like maybe for a wedding or a summer festival, so you should try it out even if you're not being Rapunzel. I'm going to start out by curling my hair because adding curls to your hair adds volume without adding any extensions in. So I'm just using a 3/4 inch curling iron and curling my hair away from my face in sections until everything is curled. If you want, you can always refer to one of my tutorials on curling your hair to get a more precise curl if you want to, but really just use your favorite curling method to prep your hair for this hairstyle. And of course, if you don't want to curl your hair, you can always skip this step. Now before we braid the hair, you're going to need to leave some hair out. So separate the hair in front of your ears on both sides of your head and clip that out of the way so that it doesn't make braiding any harder than it has to be. Then grab a section from right behind each ear and leave that out as well. You'll see where this comes into play a little bit later in the hairstyle. So now it is finally time to braid. Just take the hair from kind of the crown up and separate it into 3 and begin Dutch braiding. That's a French braid, but basically you braid underneath instead of over, adding in hair from both sides as you go. If you don't know how to do a Dutch braid, I do have a tutorial on it. It's an oldie but a goodie, so I'll link it in the description box if you want to use that. And then you're just going to Dutch braid until all of the hair is incorporated, excluding the hair that we have purposefully left out. Now, if a French braid is more your scene, you can do that instead. I personally like the Dutch braid, but I know that some people have trouble doing both. So no judgment whatsoever if you don't want to do a Dutch braid. So then once you've finished Dutch braiding everything, you're just going to go ahead and braid the rest normally. Once you braid it a little bit down, take a little break and pull apart each little link in the braid like you see me doing here. You can see that this is adding volume to the hairstyle, and because we are trying to emulate Rapunzel, we need to look like we have as much hair as possible. So pull apart each little bit of the braid and then continue braiding. Once you get to the end of your hair, do the same thing again with the newly braided hair. That way we get as much volume as we can out of each of the little pieces. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and secure your hair with an elastic, and then I'm pulling apart on the braid one more time just for some extra volume, and I'm also going to go up into the Dutch braided portion and pull that apart as well just to get this hair as full as I can. And now we're moving on to the hair from in front of your ears, so you can just let that down, and we're going to take small pieces from this and drape them back so that they rest right against the braid. As you do this, you can see that you can make really pretty shapes with just the way that the hair flows back and into the braid. And it's easier than just braiding this hair in because you have a lot more control. So basically just play around with these little shapes and pull them back and pin them in a way that you think is most flattering to your face, and make sure that you do that on both sides. To make sure everything is nice and clean, just slide your extra hair along the side of the braid and pin it at the bottom. Now for the hair that's left behind your ears, you're just going to go ahead and take that and join it with any leftover hair you have from what we swept back. And we're going to take that hair and we're going to just weave it around the braid. So I'm reaching my fingers through this part of the braid and pulling the hair through. And then I'm going to grab my other section of hair, wrap that around, and pull it through the braid. And this is basically kind of like choose your own adventure here. You're just going to take the hair and wrap it around the braid and then pull it through however you think is going to look best. This creates this really cool kind of wrapped tousled texture that looks really interesting, but it's really easy. This is actually a throwback to one of my really early hair tutorials. I did this technique very long ago and I still really love it. Comment if you remember that video from forever ago. Anyway, so you just continue wrapping until you get to the end of the hair, then wrap the rest of the extra hair around your hair elastic and either use a bobby pin or my little elastic technique, which I will link in the description box, to hold that wrap securely in place. For my flowers, I just used some fake flowers that I got from the dollar store, and I just pulled them off of their stem, and when you do that, you see that there's a little tip that's left behind. And basically this is what's going to help us to make these stay in our hair. So I just took this little tip and I put it through a bobby pin. And actually, because the bobby pin is a little bit smaller than it holds really securely, and you automatically have a little bobby pin flower, and it takes like 3 seconds. There's no glue, there's no mess, and you can make a billion of these in like 5 minutes, so it's amazing. So this is what I use for my flowers for this tutorial. So I just added one little flower into the end of my braid and then put the rest into the opposite side of my Dutch braid. I like the look of really like loading up the flowers here. You can put as many or as few flowers into this hairstyle as you want to. I do think it makes it look really pretty, and it's definitely very Rapunzel. So I hope you guys really like this hairstyle. I think it's great for Rapunzel, but it can also work for a variety of other events as well. Rapunzel is my favorite Disney princess, so this one was really close to my heart. I am also doing another video where I recreate more accurately the actual hairstyle that Rapunzel had in the Disney video. So you guys should check that out. It will be up on Wednesday, and I'm really excited for you to see that. So please come back then and leave a comment with what you think. I love you guys so much, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video, I hope. Okay, bye. Mwah.